Howdy folks, if you're still alive out there, then welcome back to the number one and the only radio broadcast in the apocalypse. Hello? Is this thing on? It's been 2 months since I got here. Here being this town, the station. I guess time really flies when you're in constant life-threatening situations. If my count is correct, and considering I have ADHD like no one's business, it might not be. Next month marks 1 year of the apocalypse. Hooray! Doesn't feel like a year. Hell, it doesn't even feel like it's been half a year since I've seen another person. I miss my friends. I keep turning to make a quip or some funny comment to them, but there's no one there. I guess some habits are hard to break. No one there but you, buddy. Honestly, having Icarus here is a lifesaver. I think I'd have gone mad if I didn't have at least something living to keep me company. And no, Bob, you don't count. Still, as inopportune as my involuntary exile to the station was, I can't deny that it has at least provided me with some much-needed stability. Not having to worry about finding a safe place to sleep at night, not having to worry about Z's or bandits sneaking up on me has honestly done wonders for my mental health, which needs all the help it can get. Who knew that being in a safe-ish spot was good for you? Some part of me feels guilty, like I'm getting complacent. I haven't been able to track down my friends because I'm stuck here. And I'm worried that they're getting further and further and further out of reach. I can only hope they might be hearing these broadcasts, or at the very least, that someone is hearing these broadcasts. Speaking of survivors, I heard shots yesterday, listeners. I wasn't able to tell where they came from, just a pair of gunshots that echoed off the mountains and rolled down the valley, too spread out to pinpoint, but there's definitely someone out there. There's a small reassurance in the fact that there's proof that I'm not the last person on Earth. Slightly less reassuring that they're dumb enough to use a gun, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. In other news, listeners, my knee is almost healed. It only took 2 months and a couple of near-death experiences, but hey, now I can walk mostly painlessly. Albeit with a limp that I'm fairly sure is going to be permanent. I'm unsteady and definitely less stable than I used to be, but I've spent the last couple of weeks doing physical therapy exercises for my knee. Or at least the ones I remember from when I injured my other knee in high school. The theory is, I'm pretty sure, if you build up the muscles around the joint, then it helps with mobility. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. That was a dumb joke. I'm gonna see if I can jury-rig a leg brace up once I start moving around again. I definitely won't be as quick as I used to be. I guess my days of parkouring rooftops in the apocalypse are over. Shame. How will I ever recover my cool points? The Raven and the Hammer helps, gotta say. Speaking of moving around, the horde has migrated slightly. The rainstorm did the bulk of the work getting them away from my door, and then the gunshots did the rest, luring them down to the center of town. They're still, mostly on my street, just further down away from my door. If I play my cards right, I might be able to start sneaking around the outskirts of the town and looting buildings. But I guess I can't get out with Bob still here. Actually, maybe I can take care of him right now. If I move this desk in front of the door far enough back, but not far enough to let him in, I might be able to get in a couple swings with my hammer. Let me actually see. Alright. Hold still, Bob. Come on. Well, that's Bob gone. At least I don't have to look at the obnoxious purple jacket anymore through the window. Speaking of which, it's always a good idea to remember to check the pockets of the Z's you kill, if you have the time. You never know what you'll find. Is that a tape recorder? I wonder if it turns on. Wow, it must be waterproof or something, because it did. I'm going to listen to this real quick, listeners. I'll be right back. Wow. That was a lot. So this definitely is a tape recorder. I say tape recorder, but it's definitely digital. And the guy it belonged to used it as a sort of audio diary. It's chock full of his experiences, his whole thought process as the apocalypse kicked off and as he tried to survive through it. It belonged to the owner of the station, the original owner before I got here. The guy who saved my life half a dozen times over. The station itself, its solar panels, the food stocks, hell, even the broadcast equipment being workable. I don't think I would be here without it, without all his prep work that has kept me alive. He was out on a run going for food, and he basically threw himself in front of a Z to help a family get to safety. He got bit, and, well, we all know what happens when you get bit. He threw himself out the broken window and was poised to spend an eternity at the station door, trying to claw his way in. If I hadn't just killed him. He was Bob the Zombie. His name was Richard. I owe him my life. Folks, stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. That is, if we're all still alive. Later.
Howdy folks, Speaker here. If you want access to bonus content such as extra episodes, behind the scenes posts, and an exclusive Discord server, consider joining our patrons over at patreon.com/podstilllive. It would mean a lot if you checked it out, and hey, while you're here, consider leaving this podcast a like or a follow on whatever platform you're listening to it on. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.